Oh my gosh, -2 degrees. It is getting so cold here in Beijing, but it's not gonna stop us from going outside because today is another Beijing walking tour video. Last time we walked from east to west, but today we're gonna be walking from south to north along the 7.8-kilometer long Beijing Historical Central Axis. And if you want to explore old Beijing, you really can't avoid this axis because back in the day, all the important places in Beijing were built along this line. So I came across this video that actually shows the axis from a bird's eye perspective, and I found it super interesting because before watching this video, I had kind of assumed that this central axis is like an invisible line, a vague concept with buildings more or less falling across this north to south path. But after seeing this video, I realized there's nothing accidental about it. It is so straight with buildings exactly lined up along it, and it's a physical line that you can see and walk on, so of course my feet, they're tingling to walk it. And it's a good time to do it too because there's a lot of talk about the central axis right now because it's currently in the application stage to become a World Heritage Site. So I thought we would follow the path of the bird in the video. It's a very special bird. It's called Beijing Yuyan, so it was literally named after the city of Beijing. It is like the Beijing bird. It was even the mascot of the 2008 Beijing Olympics. It's even been designed into this digital illustration by Tencent, inspired by the traditional Beijing kite, which we will be seeing a lot of today because it is kite season.
好玩吗？
好玩呀！
Anyway, the point I wanted to make about this bird is that it's been in Beijing since people have been in Beijing. So it's seen a lot of changes to the city as well as to its central axis. So I thought today, let's play Spot the Difference, Beijing style. I've printed out a whole heap of old photos so we can do some comparisons along the way on our walk. We are here at Yongdingmen. It is the southernmost point of the Beijing Central Axis and also our starting point for our walk today. Back in the day, Yongdingmen here used to be the entry point for the old city of Beijing. These days, no, it is not because Beijing is massive and stretches quite a significant distance into that direction. And yes, since we've arrived on this axis now, you can see this line, and that's the line we're going to be following on today's walk. Awkwardly enough, this gate is closed, so we're gonna have to go around. We'll have to veer from the path. I am so excited for this walk today. The weather is on point, a bit cold, but you know, can't have everything. I've actually brought some reinforcements to deal with the cold today. Have you guys ever seen anything like this before? I got it for Christmas from my friends, and it's this jelly bag thing, and inside there's this coin, and you break the coin, and then it becomes a heat pack. Look at this. It's the coolest thing ever. Ready? Look at this, look at this. Oh my gosh. And then it's immediately warm. Like, is this a thing? I had never seen anything like this before. I find it very fun, but maybe this is like very much a thing.
My name is 呵呵，你冷吗？不冷。
It's very lively on this path here today. So I want to look over here first. There's some kind of tennis ball, tennis racket dance happening here. Something I've never really come across before, and I'm interested to learn a little bit more about what this is. 哎，你好，想问一下，就是网球一样的那种吗？
柔令球，柔令球，这个柔令哦，柔令球有点就是像那个外柔内刚，看着软，但是它做起来跟那太极有点像。
你每天早上都来这里吗？
每天早上都来。
哇，拜拜。So I've seen the ball dance. Now let's head over here and see what's happening. We have instruments, we have singing, we have dancing, a drum. Whoa. Looks like there's about to be a fan dance. I was a bit confused because it was really more walking than fanning. I actually didn't see the fans open once. 这是什么？
这是
走模特，
走模特步，
模特。模特，我们整体的是北京快乐口琴艺术团，主要以吹口琴为主，以模特还有跳舞。对，
看那什么？
哦，很难做吗？
不难做，你要学我免费教你。
哦，好的。
留一个联系方式。
哦，
行吗？行 行吗？我给你拿个手机。
哦，好。I thought she was going to teach me now, but she's like, leave your number and we can arrange a time to learn the harmonica together.
等会儿我把我电话号码、我名字我都给你发过去。
好。
我1礼拜就教会你，因为我教一个英国小孩去口琴，9岁1礼拜他就会了。
Okay, so it looks like I'm coming back on Saturday to learn the harmonica. Wow, just made myself some new friends. How fun. So far, I haven't walked even 200 meters of this Beijing Central Axis, but I'm already having a grand old time. Let's go. Next stop, I don't actually know, I've forgotten, but we're gonna keep following this line here. Good thing about this walk is it would be virtually impossible to get lost. You literally follow the line. So the next little section is under construction, so I just need to do a little bit of a detour. But along the way, we'll actually see the entrance to the Temple of Heaven. So the Temple of Heaven is just to the side of Yongdingmen. So if you've got a bit of extra time and you feel like adding onto your walk, you can always visit the Temple of Heaven. Very beautiful place. It was actually the place where the imperial family would do their sacrifices. Oh, this is so cool. People are here rollerblading. 你好，你好，你好。啊，你回来了？对。啊，你每天都在这儿吗？对呀。Oh, so we've actually met before a few days ago, in fact, when I was passing through here taking some scenic shots for this video. We had a good chat about kites, and he even let me have a go. So this guy is about to start his kite. Actually very curious about this, how the whole process is started, how they get it from the ground up into the sky. So he's giving it a lot of slack. Oh, it just took off. Look at that. Whoa. 你为什么喜欢飞风筝呢？
这个疫情期间一个人就可以玩
哦。疫情当中，我发现我很喜欢烤面包。哦 ，cool。
要风合适，它就可以放很远，就剩那么一点了。
可以超过1公里吗
？3公里。
哦，哇，好远啊！你有几个风筝
？100多个吧。
100多个
，100左右吧。你们那儿有放的吗？
有，但是不是这种的，一般是小孩在沙滩会玩一玩，也没有那么长。这个是稍微
专业一点，
对，我觉得像钓鱼一样。
对，
你也会钓鱼吗？
不会。哦，因为那钓鱼啊太那什么了，钓不上来吧就着急。你钓上来吧，你说像往那儿一那么推那人没有这个，你这哪儿都能活动。
哦，对，
锻炼。
你觉得飞风筝也算是一种锻炼吗？
对，它是也早就是你要颈椎、眼力、四肢。哦。它这个你看在这儿太阳地晒。哦。是不是？有意思。下一次我可以带一个，我们可以一起飞风筝吧？行。哦，下回我送给你。哦，不用。没关系，是不是？你太客气了，谢谢。不客气。好，下次见，拜拜，叔叔。下次再见。What a cool dude. And now here is the entrance, well, one of the entrances to the Temple of Heaven. You can't see the Temple of Heaven from here, but I did do some filming here earlier in the year, back in summer. I came here and did some workouts with the elderly citizens of Beijing, and I did that here. It's a really beautiful park actually, and if you felt like turning the 7.8 kilometer walk into a 10 kilometer walk, I suggest you would go inside here and just do some rounds. It's a really beautiful lap in there, lots of nature, lots of trees, lots of people playing badminton and you know, all the things. Look at this, we have a drum circle. Someone forgot to bring their drum to class today. 这个难学吗？
不难学。哦，不难学。喜欢用心就行了。
And I love this. There are these like special drum bags here. 哇，你们好专业啊！ 包也有。
你的中国话，你的普通话说的更好。
没有，一般般。Look at these bags. 我先走了，拜拜。
拜拜。
So our walk has brought us to the very famous Tiananmen Main Street, and for hundreds of years this was actually a main commercial hub of the city because it linked the north and the south, the Forbidden City with the Temple of Heaven and those areas down there that we've just passed. And it's changed a lot over the years, but one thing that you can really obviously see on this street are the train tracks. And comparing it to this photo that I've prepared, this was taken about, I want to say 80 years ago. Train tracks. These days though, it's only tourist trams that run up and down this street. So about halfway down Tiananmen Main Street, you come across Dazhalan Hutong, which is just here. I actually have a photo that I can show you and compare. I'm not gonna go there today because I have my eyes set on my prize, which is a very exciting stop on Tiananmen Main Street here for me. This is the first ever Trenjuda in the world. So if you're not aware, Trenjuda is arguably the most famous Peking duck store, and they have chains all over the world, and this is actually the first one. It has more than 150 years of history. So it's just me, so there's no need to to save any for anyone. I don't have to be polite, I can just get as much as I want. So I'm gonna get myself, that's like 4 pieces of duck there. We are going to continue our walk. We're almost halfway. This is pretty cool. Are you ready for this? Before and after. Cool, huh? So that in the distance there, this building here, that's Tiananmen. It's actually called Zhengyang Gate, but it's most commonly known as Tiananmen. Like that's what the subway stop is called, so that's what I'm gonna call it. And just in front of it here, you have some archways as well. They look a little bit different to what they look like in the picture. You may be able to see that, and that's because they were relatively recently restored. And it's so wild looking at this photo because look, you can see on the bottom here, people in their wagons. Wild. Next building on the central axis probably needs no introduction. Tiananmen, Gate of Heavenly Peace. This is actually the entrance to the Forbidden City, which is our next stop. And it's the only part of this walk that needs a little bit of pre-preparation. You need to book your tickets a day early to go to the Forbidden City. So I did that yesterday. Entrance to the Forbidden City then versus now. Hasn't changed much at all really, except for, well, nothing really. You can still see the path here, same old path. Obviously this photo has no color in it, but I can only imagine it was this color before. Have I mentioned how much I feel like a teacher with these with these photos? And if you're planning to do this walk, of course you need to bring your passport, go through security here, and then we'll be inside the Forbidden City. Oh, such a dramatic entrance. I love it. And of course, we're still following our path here, and we're gonna continue following the path until we exit the Forbidden City. Back in the day, visiting the Forbidden City was an absolute nightmare. I actively avoided it because there was just such long queues, so many people. If you visit in summer, it's just so hot. This is actually the best time to come. As you can see, really not that many people here. I didn't have to line up at all, and yeah, tickets are currently 40 RMB because it's cold season, so win-win-win. It was first opened to the public in 1925, and by the way, I'm putting on tour guide Amy voice now. This is officially entering tour guide Amy mode. Officially opened to the public in 1925. It actually became China's first ever World Heritage Site in 1987. So that means if the Beijing Central Axis becomes a World Heritage Site, the Forbidden City will be a heritage site within a heritage site. A bit of heritage inception for you there. Oh no, they look freezing. Now see that in the distance over there? That is the top of Jingshan Park, and that's going to be our next stop along this axis. It's actually a artificial hill, it's man-made, and it was made using the leftover sediment from the construction of the Forbidden City back in the Ming Dynasty. So it's not a real hill. If you've been to Beijing or you live in Beijing, you'll know that it is extremely flat, very bike friendly, very electric bike friendly. How many towers are there on Jingshan? 1, 2, 3. Ta-da! 1, 2, 3. Still there. I think the easiest way to understand what Jingshan Park is, it's like the Emperor's backyard. So you also have to buy a ticket to get inside Jingshan Park, but you don't need to do it in advance, and it's pretty cheap. I think it's like 5 RMB. 多少钱？2块钱。哦，好的。Into the park. 谢谢。So now for the part I have been dreading, because I know what's ahead of me now. It's the climb to the top. 你好。
你好，
你为什么这么走路吗？
我喜欢这儿，
哦，舒服吗？
自我感觉舒服。
哦，好的，
好，
开心就好。
啊，
拜拜。
拜拜。
I've always wanted to ask that question because I see people walking backwards all the time, and I never know if there's like a reason for it, or I guess it just feels nice, according to this guy. So I'm actually doubling up a little bit on content here because on our last walking video, where I walked from east to west, we also came to Jingshan Park. So this is kind of like the intersection of the 2 walks that I've done. But I had to come back and I had to show it again because it's from Jingshan Park here that you actually have the best view of the entire city and of course the central axis as well. You can really clearly see that line. Oh yeah, almost near the top. And I'm expecting a pretty nice view because pollution is quite good today. When I say that, I mean there's not much of it. I haven't shown you the view yet because I want to keep the suspense. And right now, we're about to turn. 3, 2, 1. Hello. So you can see super clearly from here the route that we've taken to get here. The straight line from Yongdingmen right to this point. And now, I'm going to take you to the other side of this lookout point and you're going to see where we're going after we leave here. I can actually see not too far away the final point of our walk. Right there, it is the drum tower. Step count check for today. Just over 16,000 steps, almost 10 kilometers. So as I mentioned earlier, this central axis is 7.8 kilometers long, but I've learned in the course of this walk that you can't follow the exact line the whole time. Because you know, there are buildings that you can't just walk through. Some parts you have to kind of go around a little bit. So that accounts for the extra few kilometers. So if you're planning to do this walk, plan for around 10 kilometers or more. We haven't really even reached our destination. And I'm actually feeling a little bit hungry. So I'm gonna see if I can find myself a roast sweet potato somewhere. I'm craving some carbs. This is what I've been waiting for. Some sweet potato. 来个烤地瓜，小一点的，甜一点。
这小不小啊？
可以啊，可以。
我觉得有点太小。
啊，谢谢。
对。
My sweet potato, my favorite thing. The one bad thing about eating sweet potato while walking is it's like really impossible to eat nicely. You always look a little bit like a savage walking down the street eating a sweet potato. A baked sweet potato in winter is honestly one of life's greatest pleasures. I'm just gonna cross the road here because there's xxxx, which is like a lake that is just frozen over, and I want to see if anyone is ice skating yet. 想问一下，现在会有人滑冰吗？
过了元旦。
哦，过了元旦，所以现在没有，对吧？
现在这冰还薄呢，还上不了人呢。
哦，
对，这上人。哦，好。你坐着车。
哦，不用，
优惠点。哦，美女。
I shouldn't have asked you. I got. He's still wanting me to come on his rickshaw. It's actually a very silly move of me to ask a rickshaw driver for advice because they are notoriously persistent. Shame I couldn't get on the ice today, but luckily here's some footage I prepared earlier, 3 years earlier to be exact. Back to the present where it's time to put the finishing touches on this walk, only a few hundred meters to go. Here we are at Gulo, the drum tower. This is almost the final stop for today. The final stop actually will come just around the corner. There's one more building I want to show you guys. Yay! We have made it to the end of our walk today, and we're ending it with literally my favorite building in all of Beijing. This is the bell tower, and on the other side of me, in front of me just here, is the drum tower. And actually up until 1924, this is how people in Beijing used to tell the time. So there would be a bell in the morning from this tower, a drum in the evening from that tower, and that's how everyone would be kind of on the same time frame. And here, got my last few photos for the day. This is an old photo from bird's eye view showing the bell and drum tower. So this here, the bell tower, you can see behind me here. And this is a really cool photo as well of the bell tower. So cool! You can see in the background of this photo here, it's all hutongs around in the background. No high rises, no big buildings, just the bell tower and then all the hutongs. 你好，你过来一下。你可以介绍自己吗？你叫什么名字？
我叫赵润南，
你有什么爱好呢？
陶技，还有滑滑板车，
你喜欢吃什么呢？
喜欢吃肉，
我也喜欢吃肉。什么肉呢？
牛肉。
牛肉，牛肉比较好吃，对吧？你上学吗？
你说我现在在幼儿园，
我现在在幼儿园，我4岁。
那作业多吗？
不多。
不多，那就好。你喜欢作业吗？你喜欢作业吗？怎么回事？
喜欢。
你的英文名叫什么
mini，
？Mini， 谁给你这个名字呢？
我自己起的。
你自己起的名字？哇，你好厉害哦！你是哪里听到这个名字？
动画片里。
哦，是 Minnie Mouse 的 Minnie 吗？你喜欢 Minnie Mouse？
喜欢。
你喜欢 Mickey Mouse 吗？
喜欢。
哪一个比较喜欢的 ？Minnie 还是 Mickey？
Mickey。
那为什么不叫自己 Mickey 呢？
我这个也不知道。
Running away from life's questions like.
So I'll leave you guys on this note. It's not the destination, but it's who you meet along the way. Everyone I've met today has been so much fun. I've made some new friends. Looks like I'm going to be joining a harmonica group. Thanks for walking with me. I've really enjoyed this walk. I'm so glad I did it. I haven't actually walked the Beijing Central Axis before, but maybe next time I walk it, or maybe next time you walk it, it will be a World Heritage Site, but I'll always be able to say I walked it before it was. That's it for today's walking video. Hope you've enjoyed it. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a comment if you feel inclined, and I will see you next time. Bye from Beijing.
拜拜。
Bye bye.
拜拜。
下次见。
下次见。